Spring is the perfect time to get out and explore everything this great state has to offer, and Kentucky Living Magazine wants to know your favorites. Their annual Best in Kentucky Awards are back, and voting is now open across 30 categories. Yes, 30 of them, from Best Local TV Personality to the Best Bourbon and the Best Place for an Adventure. It's Kentucky's biggest celebration of the people, places, and experience that make the Bluegrass State one of a kind, and your vote decides it all. Here with more is Joe Arnold. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you. Elle is one of our great presenters.
Yes,
every year we do. Well, last year's the first time,
yes,
right? And then this year, hopefully, you'll come back.
I hope I get invited.
So you have to choose which category you want to announce then, because we do a big award show in August, and then that's when Heather French Henry is our host, and she announces everything for us.
Yeah.
But we invite the top personalities from all across the Bluegrass State, and Elle, of course, you're on fire.
Oh, thank you.
Derby week was fantastic.
Oh
Congratulations.
my gosh, that was like the biggest marathon of my life. Yeah. But we are like finally back in business, back in studio. It's always such a fun time, and that's a highlight for so many people's year is the Kentucky Derby.
And this is what we have in common, Great Day Live and Kentucky Living with Best in Kentucky, is because we truly just like to celebrate good things. Yeah. There's so much negativity. Why not just take some time to say what's good?
Yes.
Or what's great in this regard?
Yes.
So Best in Kentucky, and first of all, the magazine overall, as you know, but I'll just remind the viewers if you could, if I could, this is the flagship publication of Kentucky's electric cooperatives, and there are 24 local co-ops, all locally owned by the local members all across the state.
Yeah.
That includes in your viewing area, Nolan RECC, Meade County RECC, Shelby Energy, I'm forgetting some, I apologize, Salt River Electric, and throughout your viewing area, but these are all locally owned. But the overall mission of the co-ops is to improve the quality of life in the communities that we serve. One great way we do that is through Kentucky Living Magazine, and by spreading the good news. Best in Kentucky, as you know, is our way to ask all the readers in all the categories. The nominations come from them. We don't pick the finalists. We say, you tell us in February, the entire month, okay, here are the categories, and then you just write in whatever you think is the best ones. Now in May is when we're voting on those top finalists.
I know, and there's 30 categories. My goodness, there's actually a couple new ones this year too.
The newest one right now is the Downtown Shopping District, and the nominees are Downtown Shopping District, Campbellsville Main Street, Bardstown Main Street, Shelby Main Street.
That's going to be a tough one.
And you've been to all three of those.
I've been to all three of them. They are all so cute, so charming in their own way. And I love that they're still historic. Yeah. They still have that charm.
Exactly right.
And it's like everyone knows everyone when you go down there, even if you're an outsider looking in. That's what I just love. That's what I love about just Kentucky communities in general.
And for your viewers who may not be familiar with these places, it happens all the time too, even with some of the finalists in these categories saying, well, I've never heard of that before. Well, then why not go there?
Yeah. Get inspired.
Exactly. This becomes, based upon readers' recommendations, this is my annual travel guide for the state, because locals know it best, right?
Right.
So, like, for instance, give me one more category here if we could. Here.
Let's see. Place for live music.
Place for live music. Joel Ray's Lincoln Jamboree is that's a legendary place. Renfro Valley Entertainment Center, another legendary place, more in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then the AMP at Logstill, which you're probably familiar with, is the newest among those three very different venues. So, which one's your favorite?
Ooh, that is going to be a hard one. Another one.
Announce the finalists for me. Okay.
Well, okay. Kids-friendly attraction.
Kid-friendly attraction.
All right.
Okay.
Louisville Zoo.
Yep.
It's classic. Kentucky Down Under Adventure Zoo, and then the Ark Encounter.
Yeah. So they're great.
These are all going to be like the top 3 ones.
I'm going to do, because I love food. Okay. How about hamburger, Bardstown Burger, Leahy's Red Castle, and the B&N Food Market? You might say, where are those?
Right.
This is your chance to look them up. This is thanks to, I want to thank Kentucky Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, because they're the ones who are sponsoring and making all this possible this year for Kentucky Living. They do a great job, of course, in their own tourism category. But this is a chance just to be able to express, by the way, not just what your favorites are, but also what happens sometimes is you hear from people saying, well, why isn't my area represented? This is why Elle Bottom and Great Day Live comes in handy, because you're making sure that all of the viewing area here in Kentucky and beyond has a chance to make sure that your businesses and your people are represented.
Well, and I personally get Kentucky Living magazine every single month. And every time I flip through, I'm like discovering something brand new. And that's exactly why we have these Best in Kentucky awards, to get people out of their neck of the woods. There's so much to see and do in this great state. And I love that Great Day Live kind of bops around, even southern Indiana too, sometimes even down into Tennessee. But there's just so much to see and do.
You're a great partner. We appreciate that.
Thank
The
you.
co-ops, by the way, we're in 117 of the state's 120 counties, so we cover the entire state. You mentioned, you get it, and I appreciate you subscribing to Kentucky Living. The people who are members of co-ops, they're going to get the magazine because it's the co-op's way to be able to communicate with them through the pages. But if you live in Louisville or an area that's not served by a co-op, you can still subscribe.
You can still subscribe. Again, highly recommend. And every year you print out all of the winners and back in or coming up in August, but people need to get on their voting.
Oh, you need to vote. That's a good point I should probably bring up while I'm here. So voting, KentuckyLiving.com. If you go to there right now, you will click on there. You will see on the front banner, it'll have a place to click on there. The ballot's very easy to pick out. I will say that the voting in May is a lot easier than the finalists filling out their nominations in February, because then you actually have to type in. Right now, all you have to do is just click, 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 click. And of course, it's primary season, so we're not endorsing any candidates on the primary ballot. But this is, however, difference between our election and that election is you can vote more than once.
There you go.
You can vote once per day per email address.
Whoa! So if you have a favorite on there, you're going to be voting.
You have the rest of May to be able to go on there. Don't stuff the ballot box with more than one email address. We check the IP addresses and that kind of thing, but just
there's a science to this.
And there also is a spirit of it, because it's all about endorsing and supporting all the local businesses and people and places, just like Great Day Live does.
I know. So I need to pick my category. Last year was road trips. I think I'm going to have to do it again.
Road trip?
Yes, because I grew up, my grandpa was from the Bowling Green area, so I grew up coming to Kentucky via road trip and just exploring all that, Kentucky has to offer.
May I announce the nominees?
Yes.
Or you want to do that? Road trip?
No, go ahead.
We'll take turns. It's the second one. Okay.
Second one.
The first nominee for a road trip, Mammoth Cave National Park.
I think that won last year. So Land Between the Lakes National Recreation Area.
And the third nominee, Red River Gorge Geological Area.
These are some
all
really
just
good
amazing.
ones.
And all of those are just beautiful, by the way.
They really are. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is Kentucky is just beautiful. You see the rolling hills, you see, mammoth caves, whether you're on the lake or just, in between the trees. There's so much beauty.
Well, in Kentucky, more than anything else, it's like having 4 states. You have eastern Kentucky and the mountains. You have not the plains, but basically the coal fields and kind of the flatlands, the delta area of the western Kentucky, bluegrass area, of course, in Lexington, and now in Louisville area as well.
I love it.
Rivertown.
All love it. So May 31st is the deadline. So go over to KentuckyLiving.com to cast your votes.
Thanks, Elle.
Thank you.